Some conservative women are big mad at Megyn Kelly for encouraging them to be financially independent while also pursuing marriage, children, a family, if that's what they want. Now, let me just pause and say, I totally acknowledge the insane challenges of being a woman who has it all. I do think that for far too long, the propaganda made it seem as though women could do it all. It's not a big deal. They could have a career and raise a family. Obviously, that is an incredibly difficult thing to do, but some women have accomplished that. Some women who really want that can do it. And so Megyn Kelly says, ladies, it is possible to make your own money, have your own career, pay for your own swanky New York City apartment. That part I disagree with. And find a man who loves you, wants to have and raise children with you, and wants to be with you and only you. The only thing stopping you, your decision to settle for less. So I'm sure in her mind, this was her way of putting out like an encouraging, inspiring message to women who might be interested in having it all. But people didn't take it that way. Okay, a lot of women were upset about this, which is depressing. But let me just weigh in on one part of her tweet. Look, I mean, unless you're working for a Wall Street firm, hedge fund manager, you're literally working in the financial sector, you're not gonna be able to afford a swanky New York City apartment alone. Okay, like you need to make a lot of money to afford that. But the rest of her post, I think, is totally fine. Now, some people absolutely lost it, John, including one American news anchor, so that's OAN, Stephanie Hamill, who responded with this little nugget. This may be one of the most toxic and delusional posts I've seen all week. Wait, on X? Okay, but here's the rest. I'm a month out from giving birth and I have a toddler. I can assure you I'm not in boss babe mode. I'm surviving, even with house help. It would be interesting to know more about Megyn's childcare support system, especially when her kids were babies. Did her family help? How many hours a day did she have a nanny or daycare? How much house help? Now, let's just address the elephant in the room, which is the fact that Stephanie Hamill is an anchor, meaning she has a career and clearly she has children as well. It's hard, it's challenging. Megyn Kelly didn't allege that it would be easy, but she is having it all, right? She's got a family and she has a career. So I don't know why this is such a big deal. Like, did they want Megyn Kelly to also include that it's gonna be challenging? Because I feel like that doesn't need to be said. I think people know that. But what do you think, John?
Yeah, I'm trying to just respond to this message and tell myself I don't know anything about what Megyn Kelly has said about women or feminism or anything like that in the past. And unfortunately I do. I'm clearly not drinking as much as I need to or will soon be. I think that to be able to forget what I know about Megyn Kelly. The statement itself is fine. It's a little shallow, a little vapid, but it could be encouraging, I think. Like, yes, your decisions do matter. I think that it's kind of like, I don't know, for people's career, like for their life outcome, it's like telling people save the environment just by using the right straws. It's like, yeah, you can make that decision and you should, but a lot of stuff affects your outcome. It's not purely based on you not settling for enough. And I think that's what some people are responding with. Now, you could also respond by saying, well, it's Twitter. She can't put everything that she's thinking about this topic into one tweet. Then her tweets will look like Marjorie Taylor Greene's, and I don't want to see those. And so I think it's fine encouragement. I've seen a lot of people implying that it's actually like a response to the whole Elon Musk conservative journalist thing or whatever.
We'll get to that.
It's fine. Yeah, sure. That's my fine. It's a fine. I don't think it's a particularly insightful thing. Hopefully people already know that. I don't know. It's Twitter.
I just think it's like, I can't believe that post turned into like this big story. It's X, where people say some of the most ridiculous, unfounded, toxic garbage imaginable. But yeah, I want to just give you one more statement from Hamill, the OAN news anchor, who also decides to get super judgy about whether Megyn Kelly is a good enough homemaker. She says, I remember Megyn admitting she doesn't cook during a Thanksgiving show episode. So what do they eat? Does her husband cook? Do they eat takeout frequently? Private chef? This type of post puts very unrealistic pressures on most mothers. I don't know. A lot of people don't cook. A lot of women don't cook. Like who cares? Like I don't think that's that big of a deal. But others like C.S. Johnson, who's an author, accused Kelly of being a feminist. That was the real offense here. Ladies, it's also possible you'll win the lottery. Adjust your expectations and enthusiasm and drive accordingly. Realistic expectations are better here than engagement farming feminist talking points. Okay. All right. I think we should live in a society where women get to decide. So if you do want to have it all, I would like a better economic situation that would make it possible for more women to have it all, for sure. I didn't want to have it all. I didn't want to have kids. I pursued the career instead. And I'm not really sure that makes me happier, but it doesn't matter. Like you get to decide. You get to decide. That's the whole point, And by the way, I don't see it as settling if someone decides they want to be a homemaker and mother. In fact, I think that's a harder job than any other job. And I mean that, okay? It's incredibly difficult to raise children, to dedicate your life, to give up, any aspirations you might have on a career to instead focus all of your attention on having children. And by the way, the sense I get, John, is that they're more upset about the fact that she's encouraging women to pursue careers because conservative women don't want that. They want women to be stay-at-home mothers, which is great. If you want to be a stay-at-home mother, do you, boo. But you should also be advocating for a better economic system that allows for a single family household to thrive because right now, we don't have that.
Not at all.
John.
Yeah, and in particular, I think that there's like an unspoken agreement that obviously the right wants to have some women in media, for PR, it's good for them or whatever. They are probably generally annoyed by them, but they want a few. But they're all supposed to imply that what they're doing, a focus on career, being ambitious, wanting power and influence. Women generally are not supposed to do that. Like I know I'm talking to you through the TV or whatever, but you're not supposed to aspire to this. That's why you'll have people like Ann Coulter, who they obviously are wildly ambitious, career-focused people that then tell other women they shouldn't have the right to vote. Like you get to have the nice house and the nice car, but you're not supposed to lift other women up with you. That's the covenant. And Megyn Kelly, I don't even think that she really is violating that, but she seems to be in a tweet. And so that's enough to really anger them, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, she did address this whole debacle on her show recently. So today, Megyn Kelly addressed it and also made clear that her post was in part a reference to Ashley St. Clair, a conservative influencer who has stated that she recently gave birth to Elon Musk's 13th child. Musk has not responded to the claim. Let's take a look.
This is her in this like swanky New York apartment, which is described as like lavish. I posted on Twitter, you can have a swanky New York apartment. You could earn money and actually wind up renting one yourself. You could also find a man who wants to marry you and raise children with you. You do not have to make a choice where you try to bang the billionaire to get his baby so that he'll put you up in some lavish New York City apartment and take care of you for the rest of his life and then be shocked when he doesn't actually want to have a relationship with you.
You heard it here first, folks. Don't bang the billionaire unless you're married, or if you're doing it simply to afford a swanky New York City apartment. So I guess that's what spurred her post on social media. Do you buy it, John?
Yeah, I mean, I buy that that's what she was going for. I think that complicates the message that she's saying a little bit. Like, I don't know, like you can't expect support or whatever. Like, again, if we're totally cool with the government requiring a woman to give birth to a kid that she may not be prepared to care for, it's the guy's, he's just not a part of that. He has no responsibility whatsoever. Even if he's literally the richest man in the world has no responsibility. So how's a regular guy supposed to pay for that? But anyway, to your earlier point, you are right. I think that you get to decide. It may not turn out the way that you want, but you get to decide. You get to make that choice, depending on the state you're living in. In plenty of states, you don't get to make that choice anymore. If you get pregnant, you're having the kid. The power of the federal government is going to force you to do that. That's unfortunate. But other than that, you have that choice. right now. You might not in a few years. They're gradually chipping away at more and more of that. But for right now, you have some of that choice. Use it while you can.
Yeah. And look, I do kind of take issue that the focus of Kelly's ire is toward St. Clair instead of Elon Musk for not responding to the fact that he might have another child.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below because that makes you a member. And members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence. And that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.